you don't have to think. You have to think while doing the maths behind the physics. लेकिन जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ उसको समझने की आप लोग कोशिश करिए. ये chapter, Newton was such a big intellect that he has given his laws in such a perfect manner that you really don't need to think. Okay? You really do not need to think. Only thing you need to do is observe. And by observation, I will make it very clear what you need to observe. Despite what your mind tells you, right? Last class also, some of you guys were not willing to believe. But the observation must be very, very specific. If you have chosen a system, then according to Newton, the only objects which are capable of applying a force on the system are objects, at least as far as we are concerned right now in our perfect world and in our IIT JEE world, the only objects that are capable of applying a force on your chosen system are Earth and surface and string and spring and external agent. Out of these five, these four must have direct contact. Okay? If there is no contact between your system and these four things, then it is not possible for these four things to apply a force on your system. The Earth, however, is capable of applying a force without any contact, right? This is very mysterious. In fact, it is still mysterious. And if you have noticed, the news, then they keep on talking about some experiment or the other, which has validated Einstein's general theory of relativity, right? So still we are trying to understand how the Earth can apply a force on an object without contact, right? This is very, very mysterious. So out of the many theories, out of the many mechanisms which we believe explain this concept of non-contact force, we will devote our class 12. Our class 12 syllabus is basically going to deal with this phenomena, right? So we don't need to worry about it right now. Right now, all you need to understand is that the Earth is capable of applying a force without any contact, whereas the remainder of these four things are only going to apply a force when there is contact between these four objects and your chosen system, right? यार है सबको समझ में जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, this must be absolutely clear to you. Okay? आया ना ये सबको समझ में? अभी कोई फ्लैट अर्थर नहीं है ना मेरी क्लास में अब? So I need to tell you the magnitude and direction of the forces which are generated by these five objects. So the easiest one, and I think we discussed this in the last class as well, is the Earth. And the Earth applies a force which has a magnitude and a direction. The magnitude is always equal to mass of the system into the acceleration due to gravity. And the direction of this force is always vertically downwards. Right? Technically, it is towards the center of the Earth, but uh, we only need to invoke that if we have two objects which are kept at different positions on the Earth, right? Which I don't think that is going to happen with us. So for us, it will be always vertically downward, right? हाँ भाई आयुष, फिर से कर लोगे तो कोई दर्द नहीं होएगा ना, कुछ दर्द नहीं हुआ ना पढ़ने में अभी. Second is the surface, and the surface applies, as I discussed in the last class, a force which is called the contact force. A force which is called the contact force. Now this contact force is acting between two surfaces which are in contact with each other, therefore the name contact force. In reality, however, the contact between two surfaces results in a very complicated collection of electromagnetic forces between the atoms of the two surfaces, between the atoms and the molecules of two surfaces. So since this is an amalgamation of extremely complicated and extremely numerous number of forces, therefore we decide to simplify this by simply saying that this contact force must have two components. One is the perpendicular component, which is called the normal reaction, and the other is the parallel component called friction. Right? Now both of them must have magnitudes and directions. So normal reaction by definition will have a direction which is perpendicular to the interacting surfaces. And friction will have a direction which is parallel to the interacting surfaces. The magnitude of force of normal reaction is unknown. Okay, it is unknown. I will take it as N, or I will take it as R. You know, the starting alphabets of normal or reaction. I cannot stress this enough. Okay, normal reaction is unknown. What is going to happen is the value of normal reaction in a large number of questions is going to be the same. Okay, so therefore you may have a tendency to immediately write that particular value of normal reaction, क्योंकि आपने 10 क्वेश्चन में देखा है तो 11वें क्वेश्चन में भी वही होना चाहिए, which would be wrong. Okay, so let me forewarn you at this moment in time that normal reaction is having a magnitude which is unknown. The direction of normal reaction is known to us. Okay? The direction of normal reaction is perpendicular to the interacting surfaces, because at the end of the day, normal reaction is nothing but the electromagnetic repulsion between the two surfaces which are in contact with each other. Friction has a magnitude which is unknown. Okay? Friction ka magnitude is always unknown. You never know the magnitude of friction. You have to work it out. Okay? We can work it out. That is where the second law comes in, and we will be working it out. However, the concept of friction is uh, well, if I let me put it this way, if I start teaching you friction right now, okay, if I start with friction, if I start problems which include friction, then it might become overwhelming for us. And therefore, what I am going to do is I am going to sort of make an invisible barrier uh, in my sequence of teaching. And since I've always told you that we will start with the simpler things and then introduce the complications slowly. So I am going to first discuss all problems without friction. And then once you have a grasp of how to apply the first, second, and the third laws, we are going to then introduce friction, right? So if you will notice in your textbook or in any reference book, the chapter of friction is separated from the chapter of Newton's laws of motion, and we are going to follow this. Okay? Friction is a complicated thing. It is not as simple as friction is opposite to motion. No, very weird things are going to happen there. So I'm going to show you that friction can not only be opposite to the direction of motion, but it can easily be in the direction of motion. It can be perpendicular to the direction of motion. In fact, it can have any direction with respect to the direction of motion. So whatever uh, you have learned previously, uh, that limited thing, the scope of the thing that you had learned previously, I'm going to expand the limits of that. Okay? So again, we'll learn something new there. So for the moment, we are only interested in the normal reaction applied by one surface on another. Magnitude of the normal reaction is unknown, and right. So if I have the floor and if I have a block on the floor of mass m, right, please follow me very carefully and ask me if you do not understand. If I were to choose the block as my system, then the forces acting on this block would be due to, I will make a list here, would be due to the earth and would be due to the surface. So due to the earth, the force is having a magnitude of mg and a direction vertically downwards. So I will draw the force vector on the object, right? It is just an arrow that I have to draw. The direction of the arrow is the direction of the force due to the earth, which I told you is vertically downwards. And the magnitude of the arrow is equal to the magnitude of the force applied by the earth on the object, that is mg, right? Now here we cannot see the earth. Okay? We cannot see the earth, however we know it is there. So effect of earth has been accounted for. There is a surface, in contact with this block. So therefore the surface must be applying a normal reaction. The direction of normal reaction must be perpendicular to the interacting surfaces, and the direction of normal reaction on the block must be in the upward direction, right? So I will draw another arrow. Now this time the direction of the arrow is telling me the direction of the normal reaction force acting on the object due to the surface it is in contact with. Please notice that this arrow is up because ultimately we are saying that these two surfaces are repelling each other. So the surface of the floor is pushing the block up, and the magnitude of this force is unknown. So I just write an N here representing the unknown quantity, right? So the effect of this surface has been accounted for. ये आया समझ में मैंने क्या किया है? नहीं, नॉर्मल हमेशा ऑपोजिट टू mg नहीं होएगा. मैंने आपको बताया ना कहाँ होएगा हार्दिक. मैंने बोला ना कुछ नॉर्मल रिएक्शन के बारे में. क्या बोला मैंने? देखो यहाँ पे मैंने लिखा भी है. I have actually written it down for your convenience. The direction is perpendicular to the surface. हार्दिक, आप you can read this. नहीं, नहीं प्रतीक्षा, प्लीज नहीं, ये कभी मत सोचना. mg का रिएक्शन पेयर नहीं है. हाँ, this is called a free body diagram. Yeah. प्लीज अगेन, जितना मैं बोल रहा हूं उतना ही समझना है, उससे ज्यादा नहीं समझना है. मैंने जो यहाँ पे लिखा है, the thing that I have written here is, अबे 9th अब गया तेल लेने भाई. अब सुन जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ. 9th वाली बातें और 10th वाली बातें, they were limited in scope. Right now we are trying to expand our scope. Okay? नहीं, झूठ नहीं थी वे. लिमिटेड इन स्कोप मैं बोल तो रहा हूँ. झूठ मतलब क्या होता है? लाइज होता है ना. लिमिटेड इन स्कोप बोल रहा हूँ ना मैं. So the normal reaction is perpendicular to the surfaces, हार्दिक. Okay? अगर आपको सिखाया गया at some point of time that normal reaction is opposite to mg, please cast that away from your mind. Okay? Please forget about it. Okay? And I'll give you an example. So we have a inclined plane, and this block is kept on the inclined plane. It has a mass of m. So I choose my system to be this block. Okay? What are the objects in the surrounding of this block? Well, I have to write the earth. That goes without saying, that I cannot see, but it is there. And the second object that is in contact with my system is the surface. Okay, please notice that I do not write the inclined plane or the wedge. This will be called either the wedge or the inclined plane. I will write this as the surface of the inclined plane. ऐसे लिख सकते हैं. surface of the wedge, ऐसे लिख सकते हैं, लेकिन the word surface must be there. So, what is the force that is applied by the earth? Well, it is having a magnitude of mg and it is having a direction which is vertically downwards. So we have a vector which has a direction vertically downwards and its magnitude is given by mg, right? This is the force due to the earth on the object. The earth has been accounted for. Now, the surface is going to apply a normal reaction. Remember that it will apply a friction as well, but we are neglecting friction as of now. Okay, we will come back to it in the next chapter. So the surface is applying a normal reaction, and this normal reaction has a magnitude which is unknown, but its direction is perpendicular to the interacting surfaces. So the interacting surfaces are this and this. Therefore, the normal reaction must be perpendicular to these yellow lines, and the normal reaction must be like this. Its value is unknown. Its value is unknown. Therefore, I write n. Hardik, Hardik, समझ में आया ये? The normal reaction is perpendicular to the interacting surfaces. Therefore, this is the normal reaction. The effect of the surface has now been accounted for. And as you will notice, the normal reaction is not opposite to mg, right? So normal reaction must be defined. The direction of normal reaction must be defined by looking at, observing the surfaces which are interacting with each other. तो किस किस का सरफेस होएगा? एक तो सरफेस आपके सिस्टम का होएगा और दूसरा जो सरफेस होएगा वो दूसरे ऑब्जेक्ट का होएगा, राइट? नाउ दैट मे बी द सरफेस ऑफ द फ्लोर, इट मे बी द सरफेस ऑफ अनदर ऑब्जेक्ट. इन दिस केस इट इज द सरफेस ऑफ दिस inclined plane or the surface of the wedge. Okay. So now we come to number 3. Number 3 is string. Okay, now the string applies a force. Circular surface, circle का perpendicular नहीं बना सकता है क्या मनीष? सर्कल का perpendicular बनाना आता है ना? तो फिर सोचना क्या है उसमें? सरफेस सर्कुलर हो, पैराबोलिक हो, कोई भी ट्विस्टेड सा शेप हो, हमें कोई मतलब नहीं. ऑब्जेक्ट जिस पॉइंट पे उस सरफेस से कांटेक्ट पे है उसके परपेंडिकुलर नॉर्मल रिएक्शन लगेगा. सो वी मे हैव circular surfaces, we may have parabolic surfaces, and if our block is kept here or here or here or here or here, the direction of normal reaction will always be on the block perpendicular to the surface, right? So these are the green arrows that I'm drawing are perpendicular to the interacting surfaces. We only need to look at the point of or the region of contact of the block with the surface. Okay? The direction of normal reaction then is a variable, right? And this is an additional complication which we will deal with later. Right now, we will deal with normal reactions which are going to be constant in direction. And once we have grasped this, then I can introduce you to normal reactions change in direction. Okay? हाँ भाई, वापस आते हैं. String. String क्या force apply करता है, right? Okay. So again, the string will apply a force which is called T नहीं होता है, S होता है बे, tension. हाँ राधिका, वो अलग 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 normal reaction होगा, yes. Magnitude may also be different, yes. Direction will be different, magnitude will be. But we'll come to that, don't worry, we'll come to that. So the string applies a force which is called the tension force, and this tension force again will have a magnitude, and again it will have a direction. The magnitude of this tension force is just like the normal reaction, unknown. Okay, I'm going to take it, I'm going to generally represent it, I'm going to generally use the letter T, right? So the normal reaction is, sorry, the tension force is unknown. The magnitude of the tension force is unknown. Now you may be asking yourself, कि अगर ये सब सारी चीजें unknown हैं, तो how are we going to proceed? Well, this is the first law that we are discussing. Okay, and once you have grasped how to apply the first law, then we'll discuss the second law and the third law. And it is the second law, okay, which is going to tell us what is the value of the unknown tension, what is the value of the unknown normal reaction. It may happen, right? May nahi, actually, it will happen that even Newton's laws will be incapable of telling you what the value of this tension or what the value of the normal reaction is. Okay? So you will require some additional information. Now, how and where you are going to acquire this additional information, I am going to tell you, of course, right? But this will be the difference between easy questions and thoda sa difficult questions. That an easy question, in an easy question, you can find out everything just by application of Newton's laws. Just you apply the three laws and there it is. You get a set of equations, you solve, and you get the answer. In the slightly tougher wala जो question होएगा, उसमें you will have to, you will experience that even after writing everything according to Newton's laws, still you cannot solve unknown values because the number of equations, at that point you will have to extract some other information from the uh, from the from the question, right? And therefore the problem becomes slightly more involved, slightly more tougher. The direction of tension is known to us, and the direction of tension is going to be along the string. It is always along the string. And away from the object. Okay, now why is it always away from the object? This is very, very easy to understand. You can only pull using a string. You can never push. अगर आप अभी अपने किसी बुक में स्ट्रिंग बांध दो तो उस स्ट्रिंग से आप बुक को पुल कर सकते हो, स्ट्रिंग से पुश नहीं कर सकते हो। अगर आप स्ट्रिंग से बुक को पुश करोगे तो स्ट्रिंग विल बिकम स्लैक, ओके। और अगर आप स्ट्रिंग को पुल करोगे तो द स्ट्रिंग विल बिकम taut. Okay, these are two terms which I am going to use regularly: slack and taut. स्लैक मतलब कि स्ट्रिंग जो है वो स्ट्रिंग जो है इनकेपेबल ऑफ अप्लाइंग टेंशन, और टॉट का मतलब कि स्ट्रिंग अब टेंशन अप्लाई कर सकती है। अगेन आई वुड लाइक टू गिव यू एग्जांपल्स हियर। Again, I'd like to give you examples here before we move on to the fourth object. So supposing that we have a situation which is like this. There is a pulley which is fixed. There is a pulley which is fixed like so. And we have a block M1 and a block of mass M2 hanging from the pulley. So what are the objects? I'm only looking at M2 for the moment. What are the objects which are in the environment of M2, which are in the surrounding of M2? Well, I quickly draw a boundary, okay? Of course, you are not going to draw the boundary in your copybooks. It is going to be a mental exercise. So the earth will apply a force. Earth will apply a force on the object. Earth is an object in the surrounding, right? Which we cannot see. It is there. So earth. And the second object in the surrounding of this system is the string, right? Please notice that at this point, the string actually touches the block. Therefore, it must be in the surrounding of the block. So the earth applies a force which is having a direction vertically downwards, and its value is going to be mass of the system into G. But what about the string? Well, the string applies an unknown force. Magnitude is unknown, but the direction is known to us. And the direction is always along the string, right? That means the arrow that I will draw will always be along the string. Now there are two options here, right? There are two options here. Option number one, which is away from the object, and option number two, which is towards the object. Which option is it going to be? It is going to be the option which is away from the object, option number one, right? So I will just rub this out and I will write here T. So the arrow direction I am extremely sure about. It is vertically upwards, right? In this case, it is along the string, but the magnitude of the arrow I have no idea about, right? It is unknown. Clear as suppose this is clear to everyone. Please type a yes or a no. Must be clear to everyone. Yes. Anybody having the answer as no? It is a कौन सी स्लाइड देखनी है भाई? ये वाली स्लाइड देखनी है? नो? हाँ, क्या M1 पे क्या लगेगा? M1 पे भी सेम रहेगा। हाँ, हो गया, लिख लिया, आगे बढ़ूं मैं. I want to show another example of this. So we have a situation where there is an inclined plane and along object कुछ नहीं होता है. There is a pulley and there is a block like this. So this is M1 and this is M2. I am only interested in M1. Yeah, I'm only interested in M1. So my chosen system is M1. Okay, my chosen system is M1. What are the objects which exist in the surrounding of M1? What are the objects which exist or are capable of applying a force on M1? So the first is the Earth, right? Without question, Earth has to be there. बिल्कुल सही. Good. Yes. Second is the surface, and I must write the surface of what, because there may be more than one surfaces in contact with the object. Surface of the inclined plane. And three, बिल्कुल सही आदित्य. This is string. So, what is the force due to the Earth? When the Earth must apply a force which is vertically downwards and its magnitude must be mass into G. So, I draw an arrow. On the block itself, I draw an arrow starting from the center of the block. And its value is M1G. Right? This is the force. This is the force due to the Earth on the block of mass M1. Earth has been accounted for. This surface is going to apply a normal reaction. Surface is going to apply a normal reaction. These are the two interacting surfaces. Therefore, the normal reaction must be perpendicular to the interacting surfaces. And its value, its magnitude is unknown. Okay? Value, its magnitude is unknown. Apart from this, we have the string which is in contact with the object. So the string again applies a force which has an unknown magnitude, but the direction of this force must be along the string and away from the object. T. Is this understood? Surface का काम हो गया. Surface has been accounted for. String has been accounted. Irrespective of where it is applied from, irrespective of the fact that N is actually applied from the surface, we will draw the arrow from the center of the object. Okay. The reason why we draw the arrow from the center is because of the first statement when I started teaching physics. In reality, we are really point object. Okay. So what are Newton's laws applied on point objects? M2 में सरफेस की वजह से M2 में सरफेस की वजह से फोर्स नहीं लगेगा। क्यों नहीं लगेगा? क्योंकि वो उसके कांटेक्ट में नहीं है। M2 पे सरफेस की वजह से फोर्स नहीं लगेगा। M2 पे सरफेस की वजह से फोर्स नहीं लगेगा। फ्रिक्शन और टेंशन की डायरेक्ट फ्रिक्शन कहां से आ गया? अभी फ्रिक्शन नहीं बात कर रहे हैं। तो और क्या पूछ रहे हैं भाई? ऑन द सरफेस वेयर द स्ट्रिंग इज एट फोर्स। रस्सी से प्रसा तो किसी को खींचेगा कि धक्का भी दे देगा भाई? क्या बोल रहा है? आवाज गई थी। किसकी आवाज गई थी? मेरी आवाज कहाँ गई है? मैं तब से बकबक कर ही रहा हूँ। So you cannot push with a you cannot push with a pull with a string. अब अगर फिर प्रसन्ना उसमें तो why are you searching for? फिर वही फ्लैट अर्थर वाला कर रहा है ना? नहीं नहीं, मुझे तो दिखाई दे रहा है अर्थ फ्लैट है, मुझे दिखाई दे रहा है अर्थ फ्लैट है। Why? How can you conclude that the action will be perpendicular to tension? How? अब ये लो आवाज अटक रही है। रुको मैं अपना कनेक्शन चेंज करता हूँ। हाँ रुको, पहले मैं कनेक्शन चेंज कर रहा हूँ। Is this better? Can you hear me? Hello? अभी आवाज क्लियर आ रही है ना? अटक नहीं रही है ना? ब्रेकअप नहीं हो रही है ना आवाज? Okay. So let me repeat what I was saying. Let me repeat what I was saying. Please don't try, number one, please don't try to spot unnecessary patterns, right? Because there are none. So the normal reaction is perpendicular to tension. That is a coincidence. It is not a law. It is not a pattern. It will not recur. It is not necessary that it will recur. It may, but it may not. Number two, using a string, you can only pull an object. You cannot push an object. Therefore, the tension force must always be away from the object. You must imagine that the string is pulling whatever it is in contact with. Okay? String must pull whatever it is in contact with. In fact, in this problem, in this, मैंने आगे बताया नहीं, in this जो M1 के ऊपर टेंशन लगेगा वो भी ऊपर लगेगा, लेकिन ये जो पुली के ऊपर टेंशन लगेगा वो नीचे लगेगा. Right? This will be tension T, this will be tension. How am I working this out? Well, string है तो tension must be along the string. जो भी arrow मैं बनाऊंगा वो string के along रहनी चाहिए. And it must be away from the point of contact. So in this case, the string is in contact with the pulley, therefore the tension is here. In this case, the string is in contact with M1, therefore the tension is here. Please don't get flustered about the fact कि एक ही string में tension की direction अलग-अलग कैसे हो गई. It is absolutely possible and it does happen and it is a very common thing. It is not something which is extraordinary. if you are applying a force on the string and the string is pulling an object, right? Then the tension force which is generated by magnitude अलग अलग नहीं होगा, magnitude the same है. एक सिंगल स्ट्रिंग में मैग्नीट्यूड सेम रहता है. क्या जोहेब क्या बोल रहा है? क्या बोल रहा है जोहेब? क्या बोलना चाह रहा है? यू वांट टू? एक मिनट रुक. हाँ बोल भाई.
सर जो स्ट्रिंग है जब आप उससे अटैच करेंगे तो उन दोनों की सर्फेसेस के बीच में तो नॉर्मल रिएक्शन फोर्स होना चाहिए ना.
मतलब सीरियसली तो ये बहस मुझसे करेगा? फिर वही
नहीं
फ्लैट
सर मैं
अर्थर वाली
पूछ रहा
बात
हूँ.
हो गई. मैं बता
नहीं
रहा हूँ
सर
ना
मैं
तेरे
पूछ रहा
को कि
हूँ.
जो भी कांटेक्ट की फोर्स है वो टेंशन की तरह. अबे तो मैं बता रहा हूँ, सुन तो. जो भी कांटेक्ट है बिटवीन द स्ट्रिंग एंड द ब्लॉक, उसके बीच में जो भी फोर्सेस हैं, they are going to be classified as
टेंशन. टेंशन.
tension.
ओके समझा.
Tension,
सो मतलब टेंशन
right?
बस
They will
स्ट्रिंग
be
का नहीं है, पूरा
classified
वो
as
लोग ने टेंशन ही ले लिया. ओके.
string. जहां से भी attached होएगा बॉडी के ऊपर, वो string बॉडी को टेंशन फोर्स exert करेगा. उसको आप नॉर्मल फोर्स नहीं बोलेंगे,
ओके सर समझा.
है ना? हाँ, ओवर थिंक करना है भाई, सिंपल सी चीजें. हाँ, और क्या कोई पूछ रहा? डाउनवर्ड क्या? डाउन फोर्स जी है भाई पार्थ. अरे मटेरियल से तेरे को क्या लेना देना है? खादी के स्ट्रिंग लगा तब भी टेंशन है, नायलॉन लगाएगा तब भी टेंशन. Arrows are drawn from the center, Khushi, because we are dealing with point objects. It is just a convention. You can draw arrows from anywhere. I would prefer that you draw from the center. अरे यार ये क्या हो रहा है? आज मैं हैंडल नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. हाँ.
सर अभी जो आपने फिगर बनाया उसमें M1 पे तो टेंशन लग ही रहा है स्प्रिंग के वो रोप के वजह से. तो उसके बाद M2 हल्का सा ऊपर रेज्ड है तो M1 भी ऊपर की तरफ टेंशन लगा रहा है क्या?
क्या?
सर स्ट्रिंग तो मतलब अपनी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक प्रॉपर्टी दिखा रहा है टेंशन लगाने की M1 और M2 दोनों पे, लेकिन M1 पे ये नीचे से आपने एक एक्स्ट्रा एरो क्यों बनाया फिर?
M1 पे नीचे से एक्स्ट्रा एरो मैंने कहाँ बनाया? एक ही एरो तो
मतलब
बनाया है.
इसमें दो टेंशन के एरोस है ना, एक तो ऊपर से नीचे की तरफ जो स्ट्रिंग लगा रहा है और एक नीचे से
पुली
ऊपर
पे
की
लगा
तरफ.
रहा है.
ओके.
वो पुली का वो पुली के ऊपर स्ट्रिंग फोर्स लगा रहा है. एरो
ओके.
रिप्रेजेंट कर रही है.
ओके थैंक यू सर.
मास से टेंशन का कोई वो नहीं होता है ना. मास से टेंशन का क्या लेना देना है भाई? हार्दिक, ये मैंने कब बता दिया? मास और टेंशन के बीच में रिलेशन होता है. दिस इज फोर्स बाय स्ट्रिंग on M1 and this is force by string on pulley. ये वाला आया सबको समझ में? डायग्राम. नो स्पॉटिंग पैटर्न्स, जबरदस्ती के पैटर्न्स स्पॉट नहीं करते हैं. ओके नेक्स्ट. टेंशन हार्दिक किसी चीज पे नहीं डिपेंड करता है. Tension will not depend on anything. Okay, you can never ever say that tension is dependent on something. Tension का magnitude unknown है. जो unknown है वो उसकी dependence कैसे कोई बता सकता है किसी चीज के ऊपर? Next, number 4 is the spring. Right now, the spring, of course, applies something called the spring force, which is obvious. The spring force has a magnitude and has a direction. The magnitude of the spring force is equal to K into X. Let me explain what is K and what is X. So K is something called the spring constant, okay, and it is a physical characteristic of the spring. Now, if you dismantle your ballpoint pen, if you have one of those clickety clack wale pens, if you dismantle that, you will find that it is the, there is a spring placed inside. And if you have noticed on a train, on a train compartment, if you just look next to the wheels of the train, there also is a spring. Now the spring of your ballpoint pen and the spring of the train are essentially one and the same things. However, the spring in your ballpoint pen is made up of a thin piece of metal, whereas the spring on the train is made up of a very thick piece of metal. The force required to compress or elongate the spring on your pen very small. थोड़ी सी फोर्स आप लगाओगे elongate हो जाएगा, थोड़ी सी फोर्स आप लगाओगे तो compress हो जाएगा. But if I handed to you the spring which is there on the train, then you will not be able to either push it or pull it. You will not be able to expand it or compress it because it requires a huge amount of force for compression or elongation. This difference between the two springs is represented by the spring constant. So for the train wala spring, the force constant of the spring will be huge, will be large. Whereas for your ballpoint pen wala spring, the force constant will be small, right? X represents the elongation or compression of the spring. X represents the elongation or compression of the spring. So X is the elongation or compression of the spring. So every spring has a natural length. Okay? Every spring has a natural, a constant. वाह तरुण क्या सवाल पूछा है भाई. हाँ, तेरे शरीर में ब्लड है, मेरे शरीर में पानी. तेरे शरीर में ब्लड है, मेरे भी शरीर में ब्लड है, लेकिन ये ब्लड डिफरेंट है ना. मेरा ब्लड बी पॉजिटिव है, तेरा ब्लड ओ पॉजिटिव है, राइट. So we have different types of bloods. However, both are classified as blood. So both the springs have spring constants and both are different. X is the elongation or compression from the natural length of the spring. Right? So every spring must be associated with a natural length. The natural length of the spring is the length of the spring when no forces are acting on the spring. The moment forces begin to act on a spring, its natural length will change, and the change of length will be given by this x. Okay? The direction of force, is opposite to the elongation or compression. Right now, I'm not going to elaborate on this now. Springs are uh, springs are springs are things which we are going to see later on in the chapter. So I'm not going to elaborate on this right now. We will leave this for now, and we'll come back to springs later on. However, it is important for you to remember that the spring is an object which applies a force for which the magnitude is kx and the direction is opposite to the elongation or compression. In fact, it is opposite to x, and therefore you will find that the force due to a spring is often written as minus kx. The minus sign simply tells me that the force direction will be opposite to the direction of x. Right? स्प्रिंग के बारे में के अरे तेरे को बताया तो अभी मैंने यार, मोटा स्प्रिंग मतलब के ज्यादा होएगा, पतला स्प्रिंग मतलब के कम होएगा, फैक्टर क्या चाहिए तेरे को? So we'll come back to this. We'll come back to this spring. The fifth and the final object that is capable of applying a force is the external agent. Right now, the external agent will appear to you in the problem, will be there in front of you. Words that will be used will be something like a man is pulling a box, or a horse is pulling a cart, or person is pushing the box, something like that. So this is an external agent, okay? And the magnitude and direction of this force due to this external agent will be given in the problem. I cannot tell you previously, I cannot tell you अभी से कि उसका magnitude क्या होगा, direction क्या होगा, right? So you have to be on the lookout for this external agent apart from these three objects that I have, these four objects that I have discussed, right? Again, to remind you, please remember that the forces on any system are going to be due to objects that are in direct contact with the system. And these objects can only be, this is the best part, these objects can only be surface, string, spring, external agent. Apart from these objects which can apply a force when in direct contact with your system, the earth can apply a gravitational force on your system, right? Now, I am going to give you a question, and I want you to solve. सीधी लाइन ही नहीं बन रही. Right. So what do I mean by FBD? Free body diagram. So all you have to do is draw a boundary for capital M and look at the objects that are touching this boundary. And according to the discussion that we have had today, simply draw arrows on M for the moment. Free body diagram thoda sa alag banta hai, but right now you can draw it on directly on M, directly on the triangular mass. And if all arrows are drawn correctly, then that would be the free body diagram. हाँ, अब देखो मैं करके देखा. You see, the concept of the free body diagram is a very powerful one. And as the name suggests, to draw a free body diagram, what you must do is you must draw the system without any objects in the surrounding, right? Free body diagram, free body, a body which is free. That means that uske surrounding में कुछ नहीं है. And then what you do is one by one, you take the effects of objects in the surrounding, you take the forces applied on it by objects in the surrounding, and you draw these forces on this free body that you have drawn. And once you have drawn all these forces, all the forces acting on the body, then the whole thing is called a free body diagram. Okay. So I have been asked to draw the free body diagram of the triangular wedge. So I will draw the triangular wedge separately, right? That is called the free body. And now to complete the free body diagram, I will draw all the forces acting on this object, right? To draw the forces acting on the object, I must know what are the things which are in contact with my system, with my chosen system. So first, let me draw a boundary. So the boundary that I will draw will be like this. Now, if you have, this is very, very important, please remember this. if you have a pulley which is attached to your system, right? Then that pulley must be a part of your system. Please try to understand this, write this down, remember this. If a pulley is attached to an object and you are choosing that object as your system, then the pulley must be a part of your system. So the boundary that I must draw must include the pulley. So this is the boundary of the system. Now, what are the objects that are coming in contact with the system? Right? I'm going to mark it with the green pen. क्या contact में आया system के? क्या contact में आया system के? क्या है यहाँ पे? ये जो मैंने green गोला बनाया है, क्या है यहाँ पे? It is the surface. Surface of M1. Right? Surface of mass 1. इसके बाद से नीचे चलते हैं, नीचे चलते हैं, नीचे चलते हैं, ये नंबर 2 क्या है यहाँ पे? सरफेस ऑफ द फ्लोर. इसके बाद से यहाँ ऊपर चलते हैं, ऊपर चलते हैं. ये 2 ऑब्जेक्ट मेरे बॉडी के कांटेक्ट में नहीं है. राइट, यू मस्ट बी क्लियर अबाउट दिस. अगर डायग्राम में Tarun, you don't have to understand why I included the pulley. There is nothing to understand. आपका अगर मैं आपको सिस्टम मानूंगा तो आपका हाथ में कंसिडर करूंगा या नहीं करूंगा? If somebody is holding your hand and pulling you, will you say that somebody is pulling you, or will you say that नहीं नहीं कोई तो मेरा हाथ पुल कर रहा है, ले गया अपने साथ, कल परसों लौटा देगा मेरा हाथ? Will you be? मेरा पॉइंट समझ रहा है ना तरुण, मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? अगर आपके हाथ पे कोई फोर्स लगाएगा तो वो आपके ऊपर फोर्स लगा रहा है या नहीं लगा रहा? Your hand is a part of your body or not? हेलो तरुण, आवाज आ रही है ना? तो this pulley is attached to this block. It is attached to this inclined plane. Therefore, it must be a part of the inclined plane. Therefore, it must be a part of the triangular wedge. Right? अगर attached नहीं होता तो बात अलग थी. लेकिन अगर वो पुली attached है तब फिर you have to take it as a part of the system. So the object 2 is not touching the system, right? And if I go here, then we have this string. Please notice, string is touching the system. Right? So the third object which is there is the string. And then as I move here, here, again notice that there is a string. आपके सिस्टम के बाउंड्री को अगर स्ट्रिंग कट कर रही है तो स्ट्रिंग आपके सिस्टम पे फोर्स लगा रही है. So number 4 is string and number 5 is earth. So how many arrows am I going to draw on the free body diagram? इसमें किसी को कहीं पे डाउट है? पांचों में कहीं किसी को डाउट है? There should be no doubt, right? I'm telling you that all you have to do is observe. This is just observation. मैंने एक रेड लाइन बनाई है which represents the boundary of my chosen system. Anything which is breaching the boundary, anything which is cutting the boundary must be touching my system, touching my chosen system, right? So in this case, we have surface of M1, we have surface of floor, we have the string, the same string, touching the system at two different points, which I have circled with green. Okay, and of course there is the earth. So what are the force vectors that I'm going to draw on the free body diagram? Due to the earth, there will be a force mg. Due to the surface of m1, ये कौन बताएगा भाई? Surface of m1 किधर force लगेगा? Surface of m1 किधर force लगेगा? नहीं खुशी, again you know, I mean surface कौन सा force लगाता है? Does surface apply mg? Then the surface will apply a normal reaction. Ah, Shona, good, yes. Surface will apply a normal reaction like this. Let me call this N1 because there are other normal reactions, right? ये मैंने कैसे बनाया? ये interacting surfaces, ये जो yellow line बनाई है, ये interacting surfaces. One जो object one है, वो इस wedge को इधर push कर रहा है, perpendicular to the interacting surfaces. So the arrow N1 is perpendicular to the yellow lines that I have drawn. Surface of the floor कहाँ पे लगाएगा? Normal reaction. Surface of the floor normal reaction कहाँ से लगाएगा? Surface of the floor normal reaction ऐसे लगाएगा. हाँ, let me call it N2. So the surface of the floor is applying a normal reaction which is perpendicular to these yellow lines. So ये हाँ, कौन सा N नहीं समझ में आया? क्या नहीं समझ में आया? क्या नहीं समझ में आया प्रसन्ना इसमें? आउटवर्ड मतलब आउटवर्ड क्या हुआ? मेरी मतलब स्क्रीन से बाहर. नहीं भाई, ये तो रिपल्शन होता है ना. अगर वन वन ब्लॉक ट्रायंगुलर ब्लॉक को रिपेल कर रहा है तो किधर रिपेल करेगा? हाँ, अभी बना रहा हूं मैं. शाना बताओ भाई प्रसन्ना, अगर वो ब्लॉक वन ट्रायंगुलर ब्लॉक को रिपेल कर रहा है तो किधर रिपेल करेगा? ऐसे रिपेल करेगा प्रसन्ना? ऐसे रिपेल करेगा ना. ब्लॉक वन ये रिपेल कर रहा है ट्रायंगुलर ब्लॉक, राइट? रिपल्शन. आप जो एरो बता रहे हो वो अट्रैक्शन हो जाएगा. सो सरफेस ऑफ फ्लोर इज डन. उसके बाद से स्ट्रिंग. हाँ बता रहा हूँ ना, रुकना, बना रहा हूँ ना. String applies a force which is along the string and away from the point of contact. So since the pulley is a part of my system, therefore this must be the point of contact, away from the point of contact. तो यहाँ पे मैं लिखूंगा mg plus t. I will write mg plus t because there are two arrows in the same direction. Okay? Both are vertically downwards. Therefore, I will write mg plus t. And the second tension will be along this line, along the string and away from the point of contact, away from the object. So the second tension must be like this. T. For the pulley मतलब क्या हुआ उत्कर्ष? पुली से ही तो कांटेक्ट में है ना, जो स्ट्रिंग है वो तो पुली से ही कांटेक्ट में है ना. तो अगर मेरे पास ये पुली है और इस पे स्ट्रिंग ऐसे है और ऐसे है, ये आप इमेजिन करो कि आपने ये पुली पे ऐसे स्ट्रिंग डाला और आप ये स्ट्रिंग को इधर ऐसे खींच रहे हो और इधर ऐसे खींच रहे हो. सो ऑब्वियसली ये एक टेंशन इधर लगेगा और एक टेंशन इधर लगेगा. ठीक है ना? So these are the two tensions that I have drawn. One is vertically downwards and the other is along the inclined plane. ठीक है? हाँ, pulley का we don't need to draw because the pulley is part of the system. You remember I told you. You remember that I told you that once the system is drawn about उसके अंदर क्या है. We are only bothered कि उसके बाहर क्या है. आइडियल पुलिस के बारे में हम अगली बार बात करेंगे. हाँ, आइडियल पुलिस मासलेस होते हैं. आइडियल पुलिस आर मासलेस. यस
सर, आप वो रिपल्शन का एक और बार बताइए ना प्लीज.
क्या रिपल्शन का? मैं तेरे को थप्पड़ मारूंगा, तेरे को कहाँ फोर्स लगेगी प्रसन्ना? मेरे हाथ से दूर जाएगा तेरा चेहरा या मेरे हाथ के और पास आ जाएगा तेरा चेहरा?
दूर जाएगा.
हाँ,
दूर जाएगा.
दूर जाएगा ना. तो दे वांट टू, रिपल्शन मतलब दे वांट टू सेपरेट फ्रॉम ईच अदर ना. तो ब्लॉक वन अगर ब्लॉक वन अगर ट्रायंगुलर वेज को रिपेल कर रहा है तो अपने से अवे करेगा ना, रिपेल.
हाँ सर, समझ गया.
समझ रहा है ना? मतलब यू थिंक अबाउट कि आप ये जो ब्लॉक वन है इसको आप उठा के और पटक दो आप. Therefore I was talking about the थप्पड़. अगर आप उसको उठा के वहां पे पटक दोगे तो किधर फोर्स लगाएगा? वो तो उसको जो मैंने एरो बनाई है ब्लू वाली उधर ही फोर्स लगाएगा ना.
हाँ सर, समझ गया.
हाँ, रिपल्शन होता है, बस ये याद रखना है. नॉर्मल रिएक्शन इज ड्यू टू इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक रिपल्शन बिटवीन द टू सरफेसेस. वन पे किधर फोर्स लगा है? वन पे वेज ने किधर फोर्स लगाया है? वो ऐसे लगाया है. वन पे जो फोर्स लगी है वो ऊपर की तरफ, लेकिन जो वेज पे फोर्स लगी है वो नीचे की तरफ.
ओके सर.
रिपल्शन का यही मतलब हुआ ना, दोनों एक दूसरे से दूर जाना चाहते हैं. हाँ, नहीं आगे का मैं पीडीएफ भेज दूंगा, बट होमवर्क आप पहले सुनो मेरा क्या है. और ये सबको करना है. नॉट लाइक लेक्चर 8 जो मेरे को 3 लोगों ने भेजा मेरे को. आई वांट दिस होमवर्क टू बी डन बाय all the people, all the 75 people, 74 people sitting in the class today, and those who are absent also. जो पीडीएफ मैंने आपको भेजा है उसमें ढेर सारे एफबीडी बनाने के लिए मैंने क्वेश्चंस दिए हुए हैं. I want all of you to draw all the FBDs and send it to me on WhatsApp. Okay? कैम स्कैनर यूज करके प्लीज भेजना. पीडीएफ बना के 50 फोटो मत भेज देना, नहीं तो जैम हो जाता है मेरा WhatsApp. Okay? So please make the FBD and send it to me. This time I will try to correct all of your work. Okay, because this is very important. अगर आप FBD बना ले गए तो मैं आपको बता रहा हूं कि 50% 80% of the problem you have solved. FBD is very important. अबे PDF एक ही भेजा है न्यूटन लॉ का, देखना उसी में। हाँ, first you need to draw FBDs. Yes. चलो ये स्लाइड्स मैं भेज रहा हूँ। आई थिंक पुरानी भी पड़ी है मेरे पास, बट दे डोंट रियली मैटर बिकॉज दिस इज इम्पोर्टेंट। चलो आई सी यू टुमारो। ये सिद्धांत क्या डीपी बना के रखा है बे तूने, क्या है ये? और ये देखो रजत ने क्या डीपी बना के रखा है, स्काई डाइविंग करने गया था क्या? और ये स्मिथ ने पता नहीं क्या 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 है ये, कहाँ है भैया ये? टीना मैम, हाँ ये चलो ओके। पैराग्लाइडिंग, चलो I'll see you tomorrow. Please send me the homework by tomorrow.
बच्चे 11:05 को स्टार्ट होगा केमिस्ट्री। प्रसन्ना कुछ बोलना है तुम्हें? हैंड रेज किया हुआ है, अगर नहीं तो हैंड डाउन कर लो, बोलना है।